There's a quiet misunderstanding about clarity that traps capable people. We're taught that clarity comes from thinking longer, from better explanations, from waiting until uncertainty disappears. But real clarity doesn't arrive that way. It arrives when something unfinished is allowed to exist long enough to respond. This pillar isn't about strategy. It's about how understanding actually forms. This isn't theory. It's something Mason learned long before he had language for it. Not by studying it, by building.
I was a junior accountant when I figured out something important. I thought I was bored with bookkeeping. What I eventually realized was this: I wasn't bored. I was burned out on record keeping altogether. At the time, one of our clients was a specialty plastics wholesaler. They supplied corrosion-resistant piping and sheet plastics to industries like battery manufacturing, chemical tanks, and early computer chip development. Bell Labs was one of their largest clients. I eventually left the accounting firm and went to work for that client as a controller. I stayed in that role for about 6 months. And being observant, a designer by nature, I started noticing things. The company didn't just sell plastics, they also owned a fabrication plant. I began making suggestions to the company president. He wasn't warm, he wasn't humble, but he was sharp. Eventually, he moved me out of the accounting department and into the plant. Not as a manager or any leadership role, as a floater, a kind of utility-type worker. I cut plastic sheeting, I welded the plastic pieces, I assembled parts, I delivered finished units. That's where I learned something that mattered. I learned how things actually get made. One day, the builders were crowded around a workstation. Blueprints spread out. A heated discussion. They couldn't agree on how one section of a plastic etching tank was supposed to go together. I knew how to read blueprints, so I joined in. After a few minutes, I saw the problem. One piece had been drawn wrong. I pointed it out, but the engineers didn't see it. So I stopped talking. I walked over to the workstation and started welding the parts that were clearly drawn. After a few minutes, they came over to see what I was doing. Once those pieces were together, the rest of the tank became obvious. The mistake revealed itself immediately. The plans were corrected, and production moved forward. If I had stayed in the discussion, we never would have found the problem. The error only showed up once something real existed. Building the part I understood exposed the part no one could explain.
This is how clarity actually forms. Not by resolving uncertainty in your head, but by allowing movement to reveal what thought cannot. Action isn't recklessness. It's a form of listening. When something responds, you finally know what you didn't. This principle stands on its own. It doesn't ask you to do more, only to stop waiting for clarity before you move.